Brian Kagoro. Sure, Brian.
Yeah, okay. Doc, we are now engaged in a serious game of smokes and mirrors. Let me deal with Mr. Mangwana. He's easier to deal with because Chipo has dealt with. My brother, I'm afraid, as a constitutional lawyer, myself, your understanding of constitutional law is flawed. And Chipo has explained. But section 117, because you asked for a section, is very clear on where the legislative authority reposits in Zimbabwe. It reposits with the people. And to that, I'll add Chipo's other points. Let me come to Mr. Monzora. My brother Dagi, let me start with the smallest of issues. Dagi, you are wrong and almost misleading. Let me explain. The internet is awash with videos of you standing to be president of something called MDC Alliance. And then you stepping down for Chamisa. And then you going to something called a Congress in Gweru and contesting. Fact number one. Fact number two. Madame Thokozani Kupe formed a thing called MDCT. Elected officials in a Congress of this thing called MDCT stood for an election against the coalition or party, or whatever you want to call it, that you, Monzora, were representing or competed for the election under. Now, let me say why I say that's a small point. The MDCT constitution that you saw cited suggests that a member ceases to be a member under the following circumstances. Section 510, Section 511, Section 512. Let me explain. Number one, you cease to be a member if you join or support a political party other than the MDC. When you went to Gweru to a Congress and stood, did you violate Section 510? If you didn't, then the people you are recalling have not. When Madame Coupe formed a thing called MDCT, did she become, as you suggested, automatically expelled from the MDC, notwithstanding the circumstances that motivated her to form it? Section 511, if you escape Section 510, Section 511 of the MDC Constitution suggests that a member ceases to be a member if 2/3 of the National Council rules that this person no longer represents, right? And however, when you go the National Council route, the person has to be notified in writing and the grounds have to be clear. Or if it's disciplinary action, the person, now the expulsions have to be endorsed by Congress. It seems to me that it doesn't matter which official you take of the MDCT, if you are saying there's an original MDCT. Your 5-year mandate had expired by the time you were purporting to write letters, all of you, to expel people or to recall people. When your mandate has expired and no Congress has taken place, what is the legal position? Those were the small matters. Now let's go back to what I believed were the legal arguments that you were making. Number one, that people ceased to be, that the recall. So the recall can only become legal. I'm not even talking about legitimacy, because Dr. Magaisa, Chipo, and Koya talked about legitimacy. If, according to section that you cited of the Constitution, the member has ceased to belong to the political party of which he or she, speaker or the president. Now, having given you the situation of Madame Coupe, if your arguments are correct, then when Madame Coupe formed her MDCT, she automatically terminated her membership of the MDCT that you purport to represent. Which would then bring me, when you stood against Nelson Chamisa, or with Nelson Chamisa, wanting to be elected first as president, and then as, I think, Secretary General or something, of the MDC Alliance Party, the thing that you are accusing these people you are recalling of having joined. You yourself, Mr. Manzora, would have violated Section 510 of the MDC's constitution, which says a member, your membership is automatically terminated when you join or support a political party other than the MDC. Clearly, we are the festival of absurdities. This game of smokes and mirrors seeks to undermine democratic sovereignty. In the absence of a mechanism of recall, and in the absence of a proper hearing by an executive which has mandate that has not yet expired in terms of its own constitution, what we are witnessing, Dr. Mandaza, is a festival of illegalities by people claiming constitutionalism. The premise of any parliamentary democracy or any democracy, especially legislative authority, is clearly stated in Section 117 of the Zimbabwean Constitution, that the authority reposits with the people. And as Chipo has said, the people have not been brought into this conversation. Let's assume that we're all wrong and Mangwana is right, and the authority reposited in the political party. Then everybody who's purporting to act on behalf of the so-called MDCT is guilty of violation of Section 510 of their own constitution, because there is video and other evidence of their attempt to send MDCT. I am dismayed by the lack of honesty in this matter. Everybody has violated the constitution, but I would want us as honest Zimbabweans to say what is going on and unpack it for what it is. It's nothing constitutional, nothing legal, nothing legitimate.
Thanks, Brian. I'd like to welcome Tuli to what Brian calls the festival of absurdities, the festival of illegalities.